These are
from
creepy
Pingu
TikToks that will make you rethink your whole
dreams,
reality.
frightening and torturing him. Coraline's other mother, from Coraline, was the main antagonist and a demonic shape-shifting entity who lures children into another dimension for taking their soul. RETHINK, from SL Neko, was a creepy human-looking puppet and one of the hosts of the show.
If some guy ever offers you polar bear liver, do not eat it. It contains a fatal amount of vitamin A. People who are looking for trouble are less likely to go for you if you say hi or simply let them know you're aware by introducing yourself. If you're buried underneath rubble and are unable to yell for help, grab onto something and tap in intervals of 3. It's more likely that rescuers will notice you because of the unusual pattern. More people are killed by vending machines than shark attacks or plane crashes combined.
I'm back, it's your boy FITTI to the E, and today we're looking at this compilation together. So grab your water, your popcorn, ice cream. I personally love ice cream, I'm not gonna lie. Just remember to subscribe and like the video so it gets pushed to more people. And if you like my chain, check my link down below.
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all of these on Reddit. There is a place on Earth called the Middle of Nowhere located in New Mexico. And here there is a house that is home to an older couple and their dog. But there were several claims of supernatural things happening around here, especially of a skinwalker walking on the premises. And then miraculously, the older couple mysteriously vanished, leaving the only survivor behind to be their dog.
To anyone who may be triggered by these topics, or anyone who is faint of heart, please keep scrolling. Serial killers from every US state, Part 10. Georgia. The Atlanta child murderer.
Child is crazy.
Between 1979 and 1981, Atlanta was in a state of panic. Black children in the neighborhood were being targeted and murdered one by one. It became known as the Atlanta child murders. It is believed that Wayne Williams, a freelance photographer, may have been responsible for the murders. Wayne is in jail for 2 other murders and has never been tried for the Atlanta child murders. But there is evidence that points to him, including the fact that the fibers from his home and dog were found on the victims. Some believe Williams had nothing to do with these crimes and think that the police pinned them on him because they just wanted an answer. There are some who also believe that the KKK were the real murderers of these children, but the FBI found no direct link between these groups and the murders. If Williams was in fact the Atlanta child murderer, he would be guilty of killing nearly 30 people in total.
Nah, that's weird, bro. You guys think he was a child murderer? Put that down in the comments, but 30 people, that's a lot of people, dude. Like, find a job.
Disturbing things caught on security cameras. This security camera footage shows a woman finishing a meal at a bar and then getting up to pay. Once she leaves, something weird happens at her table. The chair moves seemingly all on its own. The menu slides by itself, a napkin flings off the table, and finally, the plate flies violently on the ground. If you watch closely, several patrons of the bar seem to notice the commotion.
Guess the ghost wanted some food too. I mean, it is what it is. The ghost gotta eat. I don't make the rules.
VR headset will kill you in real life if you die in the game. Okay, so Palmer Luckey, who is the founder of Oculus, invented a new VR headset that kills you in real life if you die in the game. He said he uses 3 explosive charge modules, and they could detect when the screen flashes red at a specific frequency, making game over integration very easy on the developer. And when an appropriate game over screen is displayed, the charges fire, instantly destroying the brain of the user. This is actually insane, and it's 100% real. He also said the idea of tying your real life to your virtual avatar has always fascinated him. You instantly raise stakes to the maximum level and force people to fundamentally rethink how they interact with the virtual world. But he said he's too scared to play it himself. So who's going to get this new VR headset that kills you in real life if you die in the game?
Bro said, yeah, you know, I made this headset, but I'm not gonna use it. Someone else gonna use it. I'm not trying to die. Would you buy the headset? Let me know down in the comments.
This is the most chilling part of this story. When he spots Aisha Degree again, he stops the car and he rolls down the window. Mind you, it's still pouring. She's got nothing over her. And he tries to get her attention, tries to flag her down because he's thinking of his own kids. He's a father of 2. And he's like, what is this kid doing out walking at 4 in the morning in the rain? So she looks at him with this kind of like wide-eyed, bewildered look. And without a second of hesitation, she turns and darts into the dark woods off of the highway. And this would mark the last person, we believe, who has ever seen Aisha Degree alive.
I wonder why she would do that though. Like, what was the point of that? She went out of her house, ran into the highway, and then darted into the woods? Guess she was trying to find Edward from Twilight or something. Hey man, it's possible.
Legend or lie, the Elms Hotel. In the summer of 1880, a man desperately looked for aid for his sickly daughter, who was ailing from tuberculosis. When he found no hope from any doctors, he turned to the Native Americans who told him of a natural spring which had natural healing powers. When the man dunked his daughter into the water, he was amazed to find out that she got better. The legend of this girl who was cured of tuberculosis spread like wildfire, and thus the town of Excelsior Springs, Missouri, was formed. In 1888, a few businessmen hoping to cash out on the town's newfound popularity opened the Elms Hotel. It was an immediate hit, and guests from all over the map came to see the mineral water baths that this hotel provided. Everything was going smoothly until 1897 when the hotel burned to the ground. But these owners were not ready to lose such a profitable endeavor and began to rebuild immediately. After many strange and mysterious setbacks, they finally finished the hotel in 1908, only for it to burn down again in 1909. Although no one was hurt either time, rumors spread of a curse around the land. But no curse was going to stop the almighty dollar, so these developers got together and built the hotel yet again, this time making a fireproof structure that opened in 1912. This time the hotel became a hotspot for organized crime and drew the likes of Al Capone and other prominent gangsters. Nowadays, legends of hauntings run rampant in the hotel. There is said to be a gangster who got shot during Prohibition lurking in the basement, ghostly maids approaching other staff members, making sure everything's running smoothly. And perhaps most strange of all, a distressed mother goes from floor to floor pounding on doors and begging for her child back. Is there some strange mystical properties that allow ghosts to haunt the halls of the Elms Hotel? Or is this all just a lie? Let me know what you think.
Man, if you're a ghost, why are you going back to work? They were like, well, you know, the maids come in and the maids actually check to make sure the other maids are doing. Bro, you're dead. So you telling me you dead and you're coming back into work on a job? You're bugging. You're bugging. I'm going home, bro. I'm dead. I'm like, bro, I'm never going into work ever again. I'm never going to that place.
Hey,
oh
look,
my God, this dude.
You gotta let him into your house now.
For those who don't know, this pizza man have been haunting me for like the last 3 videos. If you can find the videos and list them down in the comments, I'll cash app you $20.
Unintentionally disturbing characters from children's shows, Part 3. The giant walrus, from Pingu, was a character who appeared in one of Pingu's dreams, frightening and torturing him. Coraline's other mother, from Coraline, was the main antagonist and a demonic shape-shifting entity who lures children into another dimension for taking their soul. Radafuck, from SL Neko, was a creepy human-looking puppet and one of the hosts of the show.
Ew, a human puppet? That's so weird. Imagine seeing a human puppet. I would be like, what would you do if you saw a human puppet?
Anyone who may be triggered by these topics, or anyone who's faint of heart, please keep scrolling. Serial killers from every U.S. state, Part 9. Christine Falling. While Florida has seen the likes of Aileen Wuornos and Ted Bundy, one unknown serial killer makes this list for her brutality alone. Christine Falling became known as the babysitter from hell when she choked and killed 5 children in the early 80s, including an 8-month-old baby. She was just 19 years old when she murdered the children. She pleaded guilty and said she killed the children she babysat just to satisfy a sudden urge to choke them, according to the New York Times. She was sentenced to life in prison and is still there to this day.
Whoa, so she just had an urge to choke him and she just chokes him? Oh nah, you're bugging. This way you gotta be careful who your kids are around, bro. You can't be trusting everyone your kids are around because of people like that, bro.
She had no idea that after a fun night out, something followed her home. This is the chilling story of the uninvited guest. For a friend's birthday, Chloe and a few of their pals decided to book a tour of a haunted home on the other side of town. Chloe didn't believe in ghosts or any of that stuff, but agreed and thought it would be a funny night out. The night of, the group met up with the ghost hunter Steve, who gave the tour. He was really quirky and was obviously a big believer in the supernatural. Steve told the group that through prior investigations, they found the original owners of the 1900s mansion tragically passed in the home, and since it seemed to be some kind of a spiritual portal. There were reportedly numerous ghosts there, some tied to the home and others that seemed to be there just to cause trouble. Chloe laughed and honestly thought the whole thing was kind of comical. They did the standard tour, turning off all the lights, and Steve placed groups in different rooms of the home, and just as she guessed, nothing happened. As she left, she made a comment to Steve saying, "Well, I guess the ghost took the night off." They all went to get dinner and drinks afterwards, and Chloe finally got back to her apartment around midnight. She got ready for bed, lay down, and couldn't have been asleep for more than 10 minutes when all of a sudden she felt the sensation that someone had sat down on the bed next to her. The bed creaked and she felt a freezing cold breeze. She immediately jumped up and turned on the light, but there was no one there. She tried to brush it off, woke up the next morning, and got ready to walk to Pilates. It was only a 10-minute walk, and she made a turn down an empty street when suddenly, coming up from behind her, she felt that freezing air again and then heard a mischievous laugh in her ear. She turned around and again, no one there. That night, she got into bed and after an hour of tossing and turning, finally fell asleep. Just a short time later, she heard the unmistakable sounds of her floorboards creaking in her hallway, as if someone was walking around out there. She froze in fear and suddenly felt that cold breeze again, and felt someone standing over her. She jumped up, turned on the lights, and again, no one there. She was so desperate the next day she called Steve, the tour guide, and told him what had been going on since she left. He didn't sound surprised at all and said that he had seen spirit attachments before. He also noted the fact that Chloe made a joke of the home and the ghosts on the tour, that a spirit may have heard that and taken it as some kind of a challenge. He told her she needed to speak directly to the spirit and tell it that it wasn't welcome anymore. The moment she did, the energy shifted and the activity completely stopped. She never joked about that kind of stuff again. You never know who or what may follow you home to prove you wrong.
So let me get it straight. Because she made fun of the house or people living in the house, the ghost just attached itself to her? Well, that's kind of crazy, but in my opinion, I would never let a ghost get attached to me. Like, what would you do? Like, I don't even think you can really do anything. Like, what would you do?
This is York's infamous plague house. This little house in York is the site of a terrible tragedy and what some people claim to be the most haunted house in the UK. Hi guys, I'm on a work trip here in York to do a Halloween live stream, and I wanted to tell you about the horrific tragedy that happened to the family who lived here in this little house in the shadow of York Minster Cathedral. In the late Middle Ages, the family who lived in this house contracted the Black Plague. Terrified, the townspeople bricked them up inside their own home to prevent the spread of infection. Soon, the whole family inside the house was dead, apart from their youngest daughter, who was free from disease. Despite this, the people of York refused to let her out. They abandoned this girl inside her own home, surrounded by her dead family. This little girl cried at the window for days until she eventually died of starvation. There have been loads of sightings of this little girl's face looking out of this window. And during our live stream, our producer tried to get us to communicate using some questionably effective ghost equipment, and we thought it said my name.
What's your name? McKenna?
I heard them say McKenna. That's her name. Anyway, guys, we have loads more content coming from our trip to York, so stay tuned.
Bro, I absolutely love the people that just bring like these electrical things thinking that it's gonna make them talk to ghosts. I mean, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I personally have no idea.
Here's some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. Part 22. If you sit down to use the bathroom in prison, take 1 foot out of your pants completely. This way, if someone tries to attack you, you can get up and fight back. If some guy ever offers you polar bear liver, do not eat it. It contains a fatal amount of vitamin A. People who are looking for trouble are less likely to go for you if you say hi or simply let them know you're aware by introducing yourself. If you're buried underneath rubble and are unable to yell for help, grab onto something and tap in intervals of 3. It's more likely that rescuers will notice you because of the unusual pattern. More people are killed by vending machines than shark attacks or plane crashes combined. So if your snack gets stuck, it's not worth it. If you crash into an electrical pole, stay in your car and call 911. It's possible that you downed an electrical wire, meaning the entire area around your car is dangerous. If you're caught in a flash flood, realign your body to where your feet are pointing downstream. This way you'll crash into something with your feet rather than your head. Do not feed honey to a baby under a year old. It could lead to a disease called botulism, and trust me, they do not want that.
I don't even know what the botulism one is, but that's crazy. So don't feed your kids honey under 1 year old.
These are pictures that took over the internet, part 2. Up first is the Taurus World Trade Center photo. The tragic events that occurred on September 11, 2001 were brought back into sharp focus with this image that apparently shows a Taurus on the top of the building right before the plane hit. And believe it or not, mostly every single person on Earth believed it, until it was proven fake by the wrong airline on the plane. Next up is this photo. This photo absolutely baffled the internet, and for good reason. It shows a baby in the womb's footprint pressing through a pregnant woman's stomach. Even though this is physically impossible, Many people still believed it, and it went insanely viral. Finally is this picture. This might have been the first viral photo ever on the internet, and it shows a guy about to get eaten by a shark while hanging out of a helicopter. This photo was believed to be true by many, but as you suspected, it turned out to be fake.
I can see the last one and the second to last one with the baby's foot being fake. But the first one, nah, that one got me, bro. I was like, no way. But then I was really thinking in my head, I was like, how would he get the image to send it to who, then upload it here? Because it was like, if realistically that happened, they both would kind of just be gone and their equipment destroyed. Like, they're not sending that to anyone. This is like 2001 we talking. So I was like, I thought that was real. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Creepy last words people said right before dying. Retired registered nurse Shirley Smith said that she had a rich patient who was a true Satanist. She had upside down crosses and a satanic Bible at her bedside. The patient was dying of cancer, and Shirley will never forget what happened. It was the middle of the summer, and yet it was unbearably dark and cold in the patient's room, even in the middle of the day. There was such an evil vibe in the room that Shirley would call a priest to pray with her and her aides before they would even enter it. When the patient passed, she had not spoken in 24 hours, and then all of a sudden, she sat straight up and said, "Satan, take me." Then she fell back on the bed and died. After she died, the room got extremely bright and warm. Shirley said that when they moved the patient's body, they had to get rid of the mattress because the most horrible smell was coming from the mattress cover, and the part of the mattress where the patient was laying looked burnt.
In your final moments in your deathbed, you're about to die, and you really want to just be like, yes, Satan, take my... Bro, just chill out, enjoy your time, and just chill and just pass. You don't gotta be so exaggerated. But if you like the video, please like the video. Thank you for watching.